Good morning, everyone. Today I finally got my diesel heater, so I'm going to unpack it and go over some of the things that other guys haven't gone over on their channels. I know they have showed what's come in the box, but we're going to get a little more depth because I was interested on the length of the cables or the length of the pipe, just to give me an idea where I can put the control, where I can put the unit. So we're going to open it up, we're going to break it down, some of the things that I haven't seen on other channels, explain them a little bit. Some guys have showed it, but I'm going to go over everything here and hope you can follow along. First things first, the tank. And on this tank, they haven't drilled out these holes, so I'll have to drill out these holes. And then they got your one position on the bottom and one position on the side where you can put the nipple. On this one, it is actually located right under the cap. And there's the little baggie there with all the fittings. So we will leave that there. Underneath the cap it has rubber and a breather hole of some sort to not allow rainwater to get in. So we'll screw that back on, and this is a 10-liter tank, which I will be using. Instruction manual. Most guys say they don't get them or they're not very clear. I was looking through this one. It's not great, but it is legible. So we will try and navigate that and hopefully figure this out. But again, I've watched tons of YouTube videos, so I should be okay. So there's the parts box. One thing I like about this unit is the unit comes in styrofoam. I've seen some of them come in bubble wrap. This box aside. So here is the unit, and it was much smaller than what I thought it was. So there it is there. So that'll be your intake, your exhaust. And it's got Chinese writing, but it also has English writing. It says pay attention to. So some warnings. So just to give everyone an idea, now this is the one that I found in Canada on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description down below. This one was the number one that was purchased in Canada, so I went with this one. The overall length of it from vent to vent is 15 inches. The size 5.5, and the top is 5.5, so that's really small. In all the videos it looks so much bigger, but until I got this in my hands I was like, wow, it's a small unit. It's got a rubber boot on the bottom, and it's got your intake. You can see that's, the size of my finger. I'll measure that. So the intake there is 1 inch, and the exhaust is 1 inch, and then you have your small red fuel line connector, and then there's that boot, that rubber boot. There's your connection for power. So there is the main unit. Set that aside. So another thing, the touch panel that everyone shows, it looks so big in people's videos, but when you get it in your hand it's actually very, very small. This one here, I know most of the guys have black ones. Again, this one was red. I'm sure it does the same thing. It's about 3.5 inches roughly, and top to bottom is 2.25. So it's a really small panel. They also send this little fob. It's got 4 settings, so you can increase, decrease, on and off. And guys have showed you how to sync it. I probably won't use it because it's just another thing I need to worry about. But I got it. And there's the touch panel. Put that there. Fuel filter, definitely heavy. Sorry, not fuel filter, fuel pump. Size of the fuel pump, lengthwise, is 5.5 inches, and from left to right, about 1.5 inches, maybe, yeah, 1.5 inches exactly. So fuel pump power connector. I don't know if you can see that on the top there. And again, that was also wrapped in the styrofoam, so just for protection, I like that. So set that up. Okay, let's go through all the parts. So first on the top, very light. So this will be the hot air coming out of the unit. Very light, but it'll work. Doesn't really need to do much. So when it's collapsed, it's about 17.25. Let's see how expandable this is. I don't want to pull too hard. It does expand slightly. I wouldn't say it would expand much more. Try to pull on it, it doesn't move or stretch out very well. But I don't have to go very far, so this will work perfect. Okay, next up, the vent. Everyone has a vent on their unit. Rotates, really easy. And the drilling hole size for this is 3 inch. So you drill 3 inch, pop off your front, put your screws in, pop your front back on, and you're good to go. So that's 3 inch. I should also tell you what the pipe size is. Pipe size is also 3 1/8. So that's that. And it's starting to rain, so we'll try and get this finished quickly. So here is the plate that goes on the floor, and you got your fuel line, you got your intake and your exhaust, and there's this little notch on the top. I don't know if you can see it there. That little notch is for the power to your fuel pump. So on my unit here, the fuel pump's going to be mounted underneath the trailer, so I will have to run the fuel line through that little notch, little keyhole there, and then I will fill it with high heat silicone. So that's something that not a lot of guys talk about, but that's why that's there. So fuel line, I got the hard plastic, which I'm super happy about because I haven't heard anything bad about this stuff. I will cut it open and show you how much fuel line we have here. So for the fuel line, I just quickly measured it. We have something around 12 feet, roughly, give or take. So that's tons. I may need 4 feet, maybe not even that. Next up, air filter. It's got a little foam on the inside. You can pop it off. There's a little foam. Not sure how much that's actually going to do, but it came with it, so we'll use it. Snap that back on. Air filter. This is the air filter line. Again, this air filter line is 18.5 inches. That'll connect to this fitting here. And the diameter, the inside diameter, I guess we'll go with the outside diameter, is about 1 inch. Very basic. So there's that. This is what surprised me. Mine came a little kinked, but this metal is very thin. I'll use it, see how it goes. I'm going to guess this is about 1 inch too. Yeah, 1 inch. And let's bend it here and see how it does. So, bent back. So the exhaust pipe is about 24 inches. Here is the muffler. It looks like it's got some kind of possibly fiberglass material in it. That's your bolt hole, and that's your weep hole for condensation in the bottom. So make sure you don't mount it like this or like this. It has to be mounted like this. This unit comes with a bunch of zap straps if you need them. Also piping. This pipe here is, again, 12 inches. So we'll have to cut that into sections, and that's how you connect your fuel line. A small rubber boot, that is for your fuel pump. Fuel filter, and a little mesh screen on the inside, really basic. And you got all your hose clamps, lots of different hose clamps. Don't really need to go through them all, but they're all there. A little bracket for the filter, or sorry, for the exhaust muffler. And that over there. And then here is all the wiring, and I'm going to cut this off and let you know how long it is, because that's what my question has been all this time, and nobody has posted it. So here's the wire to the battery, and it is super long. 4 feet. Another 4 feet, so that's about 8 feet of positive wire to your battery. There is your main unit connection right there. You got about 1.5 feet for your ground. For your control panel, you got about 6 feet for your control panel. And your fuel pump, you have also 6 feet, and I just know my measurement on my table, so that's where I'm measuring this from. On the positive, there's also a fuse, sorry. So there's all that wiring and the dimensions, so you know how far you can put the unit from the main unit. One other thing I'm adding this little master switch, which you can buy on Amazon. I know you can turn off the unit, but I know the LCD screen runs, and for my safety when I'm driving, I want to make sure that the unit is fully off. I don't want to have any worry. So I'll be wiring everything into this little switch here, and this switch will run to my battery. One will be for the heater, and the other one is going to be for some LED lighting up at the front underneath the seat, so I can see what's under there. If I need to check anything, that's where all my power is. The heater will be, so it'll be nice to have that extra light in there. So make sure you stay tuned. I'll put links in the description below for everything if you're interested in it. This video is just kind of on unpacking and kind of figuring out the sizes of things. We're going to work on mounting the gas can, because that's going to be a little tricky. The next videos are going to be installing the unit. So make sure to stay tuned, and I'll catch you on the next one.